You just have to keep an eye out. If there is properties out there you need to buy, the Valley is a gold mine. And if you've been thinking about it, I mean, and there's a lot of people that say, well, I don't know if I can, and I'm scared. I mean, y'all are young. Y'all need to look into that. Right now, there is a lot of these millennials are getting homes. I sold a property about, I want to say maybe 6 months ago to a very young couple. Nice. He's 24, she's 25, and they've got 2 kids.
Like that fish?
She's a home wife, and he works in the oil rigs, right? So it was first time home buyers, not much credit that they can say, oh, we've got great credit.
History. They
so
have a lot of history.
Well, they didn't have much credit history, so I worked with them. I got them connected to a credit repair person, and then from there you go to the lender. The lender first tells you, look, this is your credit, and this is what you got to do. This is what you need to pay off, and then we can go forward. So I mean, it happens across the board.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If you do not have good credit, it doesn't matter if you're earning 6 figures. It doesn't matter if you've got this great, perfect job and you're like, man, I can afford a $2,000 a month payment. If your credit is shot, you're not going to get a house. You're not going to get a house because if your credit is not good. But don't let it stop you. Don't think
what do you suggest? I mean,
get your credit repaired. Okay. You go to a credit repair, which is, I have my contacts, my connections too.
But doesn't that also affect you? Like when it pops up that you had to go to a credit repair to fix it?
No.
You wouldn't suggest that they just do it over here on their own?
If they have time, you can do it on your own.
Maybe get a loan and consolidate everything, and then boom.
Definitely do that. But then you're also going to get a loan. It kind of like defeats the purpose of trying to fix your credit because you're out getting a loan.
Yeah, and then you're going to get a loan for a house. So
and then
that might take a little longer. Too.
Well, your credit, you're going to try to fix your credit. Say cards, and then you're gonna get a loan out. That's already, you're already going down in your credit score. So no, you need to go to a credit repair person first, and they will fix your credit. They will tell you this is what you do, and it'll take about 3 to 6 months for your credit to get repaired, and so you can start on the search. I did have a client like that as well, that their credit wasn't great. So I had them working with the credit repair, and they were also paying off this. They were working with the lender. They were like, okay, I need to pay this, I need to pay that. And they were doing it. In the meantime, I know their circumstance. I know that they got a great job. They've been there for years. I know they've got a great savings. I'm connecting with the lender, and the lender's like, these guys are good. They just need to fix their credit. Go look for a house for them. All right. So in the meantime, they're getting their credit repaired, and I'm over here like, here, let's go look at this house. Let's go look at this house, because it's going to take about 3 to 6 months to fix your credit. And so then you're thinking, so what, 3 to 6 months I start looking for a house? Well, no, if you are good and good standing, and you've got like good credit, and you've got if you got a good job and you got savings, you got the money to put down on a home, let's start looking, so that's exactly what we did. And once their credit score went up, like the lender locked it in and said, let's go, let's do this. So, it's a lot of this stuff that goes into it. You just got to try, and instead of renting and throwing that money away, that's what you're doing. You're going to get yourself a property, and your property's always going to appreciate. It's always going to go up. It's never going to depreciate your property. So you can never go wrong with a piece of land. McAllen, Edinburgh, all these areas. I mean, it's growing.
Yeah, there's some subdivisions popping up everywhere.
Yeah, and there's some areas North Edinburgh over there where they're going to be building a lot of stuff as well, and so.
Yeah, and that's what we were pushing the census for. I think that it already finished, right? Did it finish? I believe so. I think it was last week that you had till last week to push the census. It's not going to come back till another 10 years. So if y'all didn't do it, well then, But it's very important. And the reason I'm talking about that is that because there's a lot of money in the government to give us now. If we don't say how many people there is in the Rio Grande Valley, which is there's like we're a million or some million, 2 in population of the Rio Grande Valley.
Something like that, yeah.
If the census, if the government doesn't know how many people we have, then they're not going to send us this money. There's about $1 billion for us to grab onto, so they can build roads, so they can build schools, so they can build all kinds of parks, they can build better schools, all kinds of stuff, hospitals, buildings, and that's what the census is for. And that's what we were supposed to do. And we were supposed to fill out the census, and that's where the money was coming in. Hopefully this year, I think this past year they did it, and I want to say they did really good because the census that they did 10 years ago, I believe it was less than 50% filled out their census. So, and even at that, look at how beautiful the valley has gotten. You look at how beautiful,
Yeah, it's growing.
you know,
It's growing.
the valley has gotten. Now, can you imagine how much more we could have gotten, much more money if 100%, 80%, 75% had filled out their census. So I'm glad there was a lot of promoting the census. My goodness, they were giving out free school supplies. They were giving out free barbecue plates. We were at remotes, you know, doing census stuff because that money is there. And for everything. I mean, my goodness, there's the money for the shelters, Mujeres Unidas, for homeless, for people to better the communities, for roads. You've seen roads, and they're like, man, I wonder why they don't fix this road. Well, did you fill out your census? You know,
Pura grava.
yes.